You can't grow what you don't track. If you don't know what's working, how will you know where to scale? This video is about getting your conversion tracking and analytics on point once and for all. We're talking clean analytics, real insights, and confident decisions. The Meta Pixel is the brain behind your ad account, and it is how Meta knows who is taking what action on your website. It's not just about tracking leads or purchases. It's much more than that. It's about retargeting website visitors, optimizing for more visitors like that who are going to convert, and feeding the algorithm real-time accurate data. If you have meta ads set up with a conversion location being your website, so for instance, you're sending people there to make a purchase, like you've got an online store, you need to have the Meta Pixel set up on every page. You need to be tracking standard events, add to cart, initiate checkout, and then actually purchase. And you need to also, it's not mandatory, but it's advisable to also set up the conversions API, which is especially important after the new privacy laws introduced with iOS 14. If the algorithm does not know who is buying, it cannot put your ads in front of more similar people who share the same characteristics. Google Analytics 4 is your behavioral compass. You need to have this installed on your website to actually be able to track which behavior users are actually doing, like what they're doing, which pages they're navigating to, how long they're staying on each page, the journey. Are they going to the home page, then about, then a product page, and then clicking off? Are they going to 5 pages before they're clicking off? Are they bouncing after the first page? You can get all of these insights just by having the Google Analytics 4 tag on your website. You should be tracking things like how much time people have spent on your website, the bounce rate, which is the rate of people who actually stayed on the website for only up to 10 seconds or bounced off after visiting only one page. You should check conversions. You can actually integrate the analytics for advertising with Google Analytics, and you can do a lot more. You can see like the actual progression. Are people following the funnel that you intended them to follow? Another good thing is that it's pretty limitless, especially if you've got it set up through Google Tag Manager, because I know how to do it, but it's very difficult to learn actually how to set up the conversion tracking properly. It usually takes a professional or someone who's done it for a few years. But you can track things like video views if you've got YouTube videos embedded on your page, button clicks, page navigation, scroll depth, anything like that. It's all trackable. So Google Tag Manager is your actual tracking control room. Let's go into a bit of insight into Google Tag Manager and let you know exactly how it works. So the benefit of Google Tag Manager is that it gives you one dashboard to install all of your tags, triggers, pixels, events without having to keep going onto your website to install new code every time you want to install a new pixel. So for instance, if you want to put Google Analytics 4 on your website, then you can just put it through Google Tag Manager. Easy. You don't have to log into the website, install manual code. If you want to put the TikTok pixel or the LinkedIn Insights tag or the Meta Pixel onto your website, you don't have to put individual code. You can just insert them into Google Tag Manager, which is very quick and easy once you know how to do it. So we mentioned before that through Google Analytics, you can track user behavior. Well, there are standard events that are tracked, like scroll depth, views, clicks, but not all clicks. What's actually tracked without you setting up further tracking is just a click. You can see that on a page, someone made a click. But if you want to track a specific button click, then you've got to set that up through Google Tag Manager. And we can set that all up for you. It's quite easy. There are lots of YouTube videos. We've created lots of content on it. And you can even track things like the Meta Pixel firing just after someone has scrolled 50% of the page. If you want that to happen, then you can set it up through Google Tag Manager. It's very, very accurate and very detail oriented. Here are some common mistakes to avoid. Do not install a pixel or a tag twice. You can sometimes, for instance, if you're using a WordPress website, you can install Google Analytics through the website through a plugin, but then you can also install it through Google Tag Manager. But if you do this, it's going to double fire. The same with the Metapixel. You can install it through Google Tag Manager, but then you can also install it in other ways. And sometimes what we find is that 2 or 3 pixels, metapixels that is, are set up on one person's website, and every time an event happens that they're tracking, it tracks it 2 or 3 times. So avoid duplication. Another thing is never forget to test whether the actual pixel or tag are working. The amount of times that we've seen something set up and it was nearly set up properly, but there was one thing missing or wrong. And for that reason, there was actually no tracking whatsoever. So this is a very important step to actually debug and make sure that what you've set up is working before you publish it. Another thing is relying completely and solely on the actual reporting for the return on ad spend inside the platform in the reporting, instead of actually trying to reconcile it with your bank and making sure it all matches up. Because what we've seen with leads as well, sometimes it has an inaccurate figure in there, a monetary figure, a number of leads that it's not completely accurate. And when you check your bank, when you check your Meta Lead Center, you see something completely different. You need to actually be reconciling to make sure that those reports are accurate instead of completely relying on them 100%. So if you have clean tracking, you can confidently scale. You'll be able to see from which ad the lead came or from which ad the sale came. You'll be able to see which landing page is converting the best. And you'll also be able to see how long it's taking a lead or a consumer to make a purchase. You don't want to be guessing. You want to operate with precision. That way you can scale without chaos. So to wrap up, perfect tracking isn't just nice to have, it's the foundation. Because without the data, there's no strategy, only vibes.